Hey, this is Jeff Dunn-Rankin. I'm a friend of Drew's, been his friend since college. Coming to you from beautiful Venice, Florida. And Drew and I were talking a little bit about your plans for this fall, and it got me to thinking how excited I am to hear what you're doing. I think there are about 7,000 students who will be freshmen at LSU this fall. 7,000. That's a lot. I wonder if any of them are going to be like me, because when I went to college, it was absolutely my intent to give up on Christianity, to find something smarter than Christianity. The Christianity I grew up with seemed to me a little two-dimensional, a little shallow, maybe a little mean, and certainly not smart enough for me. And so I was looking for the next thing. There's something lovelier, something more mysterious, something more intellectual, something kinder. And I was definitely planning on not being a Christian by the time I left college. And in fact, studies say that half of the 3,500 students are going to be Christians probably when they come on to LSU. Half of those, so now we're talking 1,200 students, are probably going to give up on God sometime while they're at LSU. 1,200 students and giving up on God while they're at LSU. So I'm excited about what you're doing, because what happened to me was I met some Episcopalians while I was in college, and they showed me a God who was more mysterious, who was deeper, who was robust enough and big enough for me to put my faith in. And thank God I met them, because so I met those folks, and then 4 years later, Drew Rollins dared me to be a Young Life volunteer, and I was. And then I was a volunteer at my church doing youth ministry for 20 years, and then I worked at my church as the youth pastor for 20 years, all of which because some Episcopalians introduced me to a grown-up Jesus. So I'm excited about the work you're going to do. I'm excited about the small groups, the Bible studies, recharge. All of that feels like they meet a real need. None of those things, though, are really the work that's going to be hard. They'll be hard, but they're not the real hard work. The real hard work is going to be brave when you're brave enough to go invite people to those things, right? So we've got 7,000 students, 3,500 of whom are Christians, half of whom are about to give up on their faith. And you have the opportunity, you have, I think, the mission, the requirement almost, to go out and find some of them and save them from the fate they have decided for themselves. They have decided that they're going to disconnect from the vine, that they are going to disconnect from the power and the clarity and the grace that comes from knowing Jesus Christ. And you get to invite them into something beautiful and lovely and mysterious and deep. Episcopalians, I think, are particularly well suited for folks who are thinking about giving up on their faith. And then, of course, you're going to introduce some people to friends, people who need friends, who are desperately in need of friends. And so, thanks for the work you're about to do. The stakes are super high. They're super high. I don't mean that LSU is going to be saved by St. Alban's Chapel. I don't mean that you are going to change the world over the next 12 months, but I do actually believe that you are going to change somebody's world. And the question is, how many? Right? Somebody you meet, you have the opportunity to bring into something lovely and deep and gracious and robust and powerful. And the question is, how much energy do you have for that? How brave are you feeling? And will you do something that you're not brave enough to do on your own power, and might need the power of your friends and the power of our Jesus Christ to help you do, right? And then maybe someday there'll be some 60-year-old talking about how they went to LSU ready to give up on their faith, and they met you. You introduced them to some friends, you introduced them to Drew, you introduced them to Christ. And it made all the difference. So the Lord bless you The Lord keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you, be gracious unto you, and even in the hard work, give you peace.